What is up, racers? And welcome back to another episode of our F1 2021 My Team Career Mode, episode number 12 today for the Italian Grand Prix. If you missed our previous video at the Dutch Grand Prix, then be sure to check out that video. Not the race that we wanted, albeit a big admin error for getting to replace our engine from practice, but despite the engine penalty, we were able to make up some places, and we got punted by Fernando Alonso. Not something that happens every day, and a no non-points finish for us, which means that our fight with AlphaTauri and Alpine is just complicated even more, especially considering, as you can see, we're better than both of those cars. So really, we should be well beyond Alpine and closer to AlphaTauri. But anyway, we're going to put that aside to the Italian Grand Prix. Monza is a track I'm pretty good at, but before we do that, we have to sign our teammate again, Marino Sato, and we're just going to sign him again. Yes, he hasn't been the best teammate, but consistency is key. We don't want to be Red Bull and replacing him mid-season, so we're just gonna, give him what he wants. $1.5 million. Wow, that's a lot of money. God, man, the things I do for Toyota. Anyway, we're going to invest in a car now. We're going to invest in a minor rear downforce upgrade. Our fuel efficiency upgrade came in, and we're going to invest in a major engine power upgrade, because you can never have too much power in your car. Of course, and now that the teammate signing is all complete, we're going to invest in build time in the powertrain department, and as you can see, this is just sort of weird admin. We're just going to be replacing some sponsored decals in the car because I noticed some problems last week, and we're going to order a new gearbox because, as you remember, last race our gearbox was around 60% worn, and that's not something we want. We don't want any more mechanical failures. Anyway, heading into the race, not much time between races, and the signing actually boosted Sato's focus, so hopefully that will do something for him and improve him. We want to see if we can finish in the top 10. Belgium was a potential chance, so let's see what we can do. Clear skies for qualifying in a race. Of course, the power circuit that Monza is, were very low, but this surprised me. Not only is Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari first place in practice 2, which, you know what, the Tifosi will love that, but we're P4, albeit we were doing qualifying pace, so we were up the engine modes. But that's really good. Sato, he's on the hard tires, so you can't fault him. But P4, that's pretty good. And here, P12 and practice 3, not much to go off of. But let's just head into qualifying and see whether or not our suspicions are justified. And here we are, into qualifying. What I meant to say was, let's just see if our hopes are justified in that case. Anyway, we're running the maximum top speed setup because, Monza. So probably the only track on the calendar, maybe besides Saudi Arabia, where we can run that setup. I'm not sure. But anyways, heading into qualifying, and we're stuck behind Valtteri Bottas on our opening lap, our first flying lap. He gets out of our way through to Lesmos, but that's not really a place you want slipstream around Monza, so I won't be surprised if we have a compromised time because of Bottas, who I think was on a outlap, but we end up going fastest overall. Hold on, that'll be at the beginning of qualifying. The faster cars haven't set their time yet, and as you can see, we're plummeting back down the order, but the fact that we were able to top the timesheets even amongst the slower cars, does fill me with some confidence. We sailed very late towards the end of the session, and I just decided to drive out of the pits, because I want to have fresh tires, and see what I can do, because, I'm very boosted by that practice 3 time that we put up, practice 2 time we put up, especially considering that was a qualifying run on fresh tires. So I'm going to try and preserve the tires that's something you can't really do when you do the flying lap option. But anyway, heading out, this is our out lap. We're going through the second chicane. Whoa, and I think we went airborne? At the time I wasn't sure, but it'll be my, we'll see what happens later on in the race, because that suspicion I have about that sausage curve is justified. But here's our flying lap. It's our best laps. We're going to show you the whole thing. Heading down the long run into the first chicane. Very, very easy to lock up. And, well, there's always some drama down at turn 1 at Monza. So we got to be careful there. But navigating the chicane well. heading on the inside through Curva Grande. This is a great run that you can get. Purple in the first sector for us, so it's really good. Through the second chicane, careful not to ride that sausage curb too high. And of course, if you get it all wrong on the exit of that chicane, you'll end up in the gravel. Through the first Lesmos corner, a little bit of understeer. We managed to collect the car again. And here we go, through the second Lesmos now, riding a bit of curb to correct some of the understeer we might have faced. We're up by about 1/10 of a second, opening DRS, down the long run to Ascari. Another great spot to line up an overtake if you're gutsy. Heading into the Ascari chicane now. Careful, ride up the curbs a bit, but once it gets elevated like that and becomes more three-dimensional, be careful how much you ride up, because it has been known to spin cars in the past. We make up 4/10 through the chicane. We went a little wide on the exit, but now another great run into Curva Alboreto. It's the Alboreto curve now. It's no longer Parabolica after 2021. Here we go, great run again to line us up towards the long start-finish straight, across the line, and it's P5. It's not a bad time. Lando Norris goes top of the timesheets by about 6/100ths of a second over Valtteri Bottas, but P9 for us. I mean, we're up in the midfield in a car that arguably shouldn't be there. Sato, unfortunately, very far off from reaching Q2. So, yeah. I mean, if Toyota wasn't telling me to keep an all-Japanese lineup, I might have Red Bulled him. But anyways, through Ascari again. But as you can see, ride the curb a little bit, go really wide into the gravel trap. And I'm just trying to collect the rear end. The rear end was skating about, because obviously as you go through the gravel trap, you lose grip. But besides that, the lap was decent, and we make P5 again. But, of course, beginning of qualifying, so we go for another run. We go purple in the first sector again, so this is looking really good. Through the second chicane now, a little bit of understeer. We go into the gravel trap, and oh, we lose the back end!
Are you okay? That was a nasty hit. Turn the engine off and wait for the marshals.
Oh god, yep. That's what happened. I mean, it's pretty obvious. What happened, we understeered, the rear tires lit up across the gravel, and of course, lost all grip, and we actually lost a tire. First time I've ever done that, and we're out of qualifying. At the time, actually, I was really mad and disappointed at myself. Because, I mean, like I said, I had really high hopes for getting a good result in qualifying. However, it just wasn't meant to be. We screwed up. There's no working around it. We screwed up. We somehow managed to finish ahead of Kimi Räikkönen, though, despite crashing, which is really funny. However, ending P15 in Monza is not fun. But you can overtake around here. So let's just head into the race and see what we can do.
Tough luck there. It's not quite where we'd want to be on the grid. But chin up, it's not the end of the world.
We're back in Italy once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. And what a great race is in store for us today here at the oldest circuit on the calendar. Monza hosted its first race all the way back in 1922. With top speeds reaching 215 miles per hour, only a few places can challenge Monza's crown as the fastest circuit in F1. Hard braking zones going into the 3 chicanes make up the majority of the 11 corners on this 3.6-mile circuit. And just in case the slipstream wasn't enough, 2 DRS zones will help encourage some closer action. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's have a chat about McLaren. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The fence starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Stroll, Antonio Giovinazzi, the engineer, Leclerc, they've taken a grid penalty, Raikkonen, Sato, and Sebastian Vettel. Mick Schumacher, Sainz, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. George Russell and Tsunoda. Fernando Alonso, they've taken a grid penalty. Gasly, Esteban Ocon, and Daniel Ricciardo. Verstappen, Norris, Latifi, and Nikita Mazepin. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Sure thing, Jeff. Wow. I think almost half the grid, a little over half the grid have grid penalties, and somehow we make up over 10 places, and we're lining up on P6 on the grid. Sato's in P9. Again, that's just amazing. Both cars are in the points right now. Gio's lining up beside us. I mean, We've screwed each other's races many times. Stroll's on the second row with his old Racing Point teammate Perez. But look at all those people. Schumacher's in 11th. Like, this is going to be an amazing... This is like a mixed-up grid. I mean, obviously the sprint qualifying format's not in F1 2021, but it might as well have been after looking at all the grid penalties and how mixed up it is. We're going to go into a one-stop strategy from softs, but we're going to go to medium tires because I don't trust the hards around Monza. But let's benefit off of this. This is a great chance for points. Here we go. 5 red lights for the Italian Grand Prix, the Temple of Speed of Monza. It's lights out, and away we go. It's a great start compared to Giovinazzi. We're in the slipstream of Lance Stroll. We're going along the side. We're going to try and get... But we're going to get some slipstream from Perez, and we're getting it now as he slides back in. We brake late. Ooh, a bit of contact with his rear end into the first chicane. Being well-behaved, Stroll around our outside. He has better grip, and the Aston Martin at this point in the game is a better car than us. So he takes the place, but we make up one position. We go very wide as we try to break some of the dirty air. We get back into the slipstream, see if we can pull off a dive bomb into the second chicane. Here we go, but of course, a little conservative because Stroll's way too far ahead. But of course, that's a pretty good start. Look at the start, as you can see. We have a way better start than Stroll. We're all up his backside, and we honestly should have made the pass, I think. But I think the problem was us breaking the slipstream too early with Perez. But Perez did go off to the inside. But, ooh! I'm surprised we didn't get a front wing brake there because, I mean, that was quite a decent tap. On second thought, doesn't look that bad. But as you can see, yeah, just Stroll gets a better exit. And, well, let's look at Sato's replay. I mean, we all remember that crazy start he had around at Belgium. And it's a pretty long run to the first corner, so maybe he was able to pull something off. His signs goes off to defend the inside, but Sato around the outside, a lockup from Antonio Giovinazzi. No, wait, is that Kimi or Antonio? I'm not sure. But... unfortunately, Sato stays P9, but hopefully he can hold on to that position because, I mean, hey, I want to see him get his first points. Hopefully, let's see if the contract actually did help his focus, and maybe he can start matching us. But here we go, into lap 2. We'll look at the slipstream. The Alfa Romeos, although, I think the Alfa Romeos at this point are a better car than us. But, I mean, the slipstream down the first corner is humongous. It's going to be aided by DRS. However, Gio and Kimi, we make a gap. And now we're trying to close up the Stroll again. And whoa, we hit the sausage curb again. Wow. Holy guacamole. What just happened? What just happened? Did we take flight? I think we took flight. Let's look at this replay again. Over the sausage curb. Okay, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. Look at this. I mean, I think the front wing is supposed to keep you planted, but that sausage curb, I mean... I don't think this wasn't an issue in F1 2020, right? Like that's an aggressive liftoff. Look at that. All 4 wheels are off the ground at this point. Going into photo mode. Like, look at this. I mean, the sausage curb debate is a huge one in Formula 1 right now, of course, because I mean, I think there was like a Formula Regional accident at Monza that had something to do with sausage curbs, but like that's dangerous, especially at high speeds. I mean. Thankfully, it's the second part of the chicane, so you're not going that fast. But, I mean, the gravel trap saved us this time. It slowed us down enough, because I swear, if that was asphalt, we might have just gone straight into the barrier and ended our race again at the same chicane. But that little excursion into the gravel has not helped us, because now Gio is all up in our slipstream, and he has DRS. We're going to defend the inside into the first chicane. And Gio doesn't really get a move off, thankfully. He was a little too far back this time around. And, well, we're just going to have to defend the position. And unfortunately, we're not going to get DRS from Perez and Stroll, who are having a massive scrap ahead of us. But we're vulnerable to Gio, as he gets a better run out of the Ascari chicane. He's side by side of us as we head into the Alboreto curve. He's on the outside. We're going to defend the inside, brake a little later than he is, and a bit of understeer. But that understeer actually helps us push Antonio a little wide, and we hold the position again. And look at this. I mean, I mentioned the scrap between Perez and Stroll. Look at them going side by side through the chicane. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get a replay footage of their fight. But that fight's actually helping us because it's backing them up into us. And we're in a good gap from us right now. I mean, what happened to Giovinazzi, actually? I don't know. Probably got passed by a bunch of people. Not very good. Anyways, we're going to go later. We're going to see if we can overcut the drivers ahead of us. As we can see, braking, go a little late into the first chicane again. But I'm just focused on the fight between Stroll and Perez. Stroll actually, I think, passed Perez just now. And now he's only about a second and a half up the road from us when the gap was 3 seconds. Here we go. On to lap 9 now. Pretty uneventful race this moment. But Perez is pitting really early. He's definitely trying to get the undercut on Stroll. But Stroll, I mean, who knows? He might be able to make it. He might be able to pull it off. Anyway, Mick Schumacher is out of the Grand Prix. So, No, Belgium was the last time he DNF, but that's 2 DNFs in 3 races for the German. So let's see what happens as he maybe. Oh, he just spun it into the first chicane. He has to back off to let other drivers through. Maybe, was that the DNF? I don't think that's a DNF. I mean, he stopped for sure. There's Perez passing through because of how early he pit. He's at the back of the grid. But no, Schumacher just sets off again. So that wasn't a DNF, but man, that's just, yeah, he just gets on the throttle. I mean, it's great to see the AI make mistakes, but I mean, it's so obvious when you watch the replay that this is definitely some sort of thing by the computer. But on the same lap as he's navigating through the second chicane, his engine fails again. Wait, was it an engine failure last time? I can't remember. I don't remember. That's unfortunate. I mean, in real life, I feel so bad for Mick Schumacher because he doesn't deserve to be in that Haas with the skill he has or the skill he's shown, but he doesn't have the car to support it.
Oh, sorry about that. It's okay, buddy. Put it back together.
Yep, I mean, that's just unfortunate. I mean, the mistake and now the DNF in the same lap. It's not fun for him. Anyways, our pit window's open for lap 11. Wait. Okay, now I'm not so sure. Did we accept the new strategy? Oh my god. I'm tired, guys. I'm sorry. This is not a great recording. But anyways, we're up at the P3 now. Thanks to Perez pitting. But Ricciardo, I mean, we had difficulty holding off Giovinazzi. Ricciardo's going to be worse. But there's no flags ahead. As you head to the Ascari chicane, the Stroll have a problem. That'd be so unfortunate for the Canadian, who was putting up a great fight against Perez in the Red Bull. But no, actually, no! It's Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton's out. Oh, there's an engine blown up. That's 2 DNFs in a season for Lewis Hamilton. That is ridiculous. I mean, the Mercedes is so reliable usually. My brain doesn't know how to comprehend, doesn't know how to take this, but that's 2 DNFs. Hungary, and now this race. And Hamilton, who was on the back of 2 wins in a row, looks set for 3rd, which would have helped him in his championship fight against Valtteri Bottas. But this is just unfortunate. Like, look at him. He's going slow down the straight. Thankfully, the yellow flags were out, and I was kind of on guard because I was so concentrated on trying to stay ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. Yeah, as you can see, like, there's a fight going on right there. So not fun for Lewis, whose championship fight is now overcomplicated by an unexpected DNF.
Losing power. Stop.
I don't know what that bell was in the background. That was weird. But anyways, yeah, Lewis just having to park by the side of the road, and that's his race over. Stroll's in P1, but he pits on the same lap as us. We got into the pit lane, and Ricciardo's right behind us. So now our pit crew has to be as quick as us on the track. I mean, if we want to stay ahead of the McLaren, if the McLaren gets ahead of us, it's over, the fight between the two of us. So we've got to get a good pit stop off. Come on, boys. Let's do this right. And that's a great stop from the boys. 2.1 seconds. And we're actually closer to Stroll than we were previously. So that's a great effort from us. So let's see what we can do from this position. But Perez is heading down. We're going to see if we can head up ahead of the Red Bull. Perez's undercut didn't work on Stroll. The overcut is actually better on Mons. And we made contact with the back of the Aston Martin. And somehow, again, no damage. Which is surprising. But with the tire advantage over Perez, and that's a free position. We're up at the P6 now. So Perez has lost 2 positions because of his pit crew putting him in early. Yeah, I think a bit of a nibble front wing actually came off there. I can't be sure, but yeah, a little clumsy. But oh my god, Ricciardo is right behind us, and Perez is ending into the fight too. So we're trying to hold off 2 extremely fast cars. I mean, arguably, we shouldn't be in this position, especially around Monza, where our engine isn't that great. Look at Ricciardo. Ricciardo's signing up a move up. Perez is looking rapid too. And there we go. Ricciardo going on to the left. Perez on the right. It's going to be 3 wide heading into the first chicane. A Toyota, Red Bull, and McLaren. This is not a recipe for success. We're going to try and see if we can get in the mix. We're sandwiched with these 2. We make contact with Perez. Make contact with Ricciardo. Ricciardo cuts the curb. There's no space for him. We make contact with Perez again. This is a ding-dong ping-pong battle going on between the 2 cars and us in the middle. And, well, we have to concede. And Perez and Ricciardo continue to fight. We back out. We tap out of this because obviously if we kept this up, it's going to lead in a bigger collision than just those little taps. That was a rapid staccato stutter. But anyways, we back off. And, well, we let them go ahead, but we're in DRS range of Perez, so we get some DRS. We deploy tons of ERS, and that's slipstream. Honda versus Honda power. I guess Toyota power, but it's Honda power, let's be real. Diving down into the first chicane. Great movie. Leave him space on the inside. Karras clatters the curb. He makes contact with our side pod, but we managed to get the move done and into P4 in a Toyota around Monza. This is a remarkable drive from us, considering, I mean, granted, we only had to make up 2 positions instead of 11, but that was a great move around Perez, trying to leave him tons of space. But, I mean, oh, well, there, I mean, could have left him maybe a little more space, because he did clatter the curb. Hopefully he doesn't notice that. Okay, I wouldn't say push off is the right word, but, I mean, come on. Great move. We go a little wide out of the Ascari chicane. This is lap 15. The race is just flying by. But at the time, it didn't feel that way because we're under immense pressure from faster cars. Perez trying to go down the inside into the curve at Alboreto. But we hold him off. Thankfully, we were able to hold him off. Because that would have been very complicated. But Perez again is getting a good run at us. That Red Bull looking extremely fast. And he's going to have DRS. We're deploying all our ERS reserve right now to try and stay ahead of the Red Bull. Because a best of the rest finish. And the 12 points that it will give us will be well worth it in the Constructors' Championship. And, well, we hold off Perez. Easy work from us. But again, Perez with DRS, despite the fact, I mean, our medium tires should be better than his worn hard tires, but his hard tires are now probably in the same window as fresh mediums. So, this is going to be really complicated. Here we go, down the run, towards Curva Alboreto. Perez going to get the move done around the outside. We're going on the inside. We're going to squeeze him. Oh, we made contact with Perez. We're going to almost go off. But Perez, we kind of used him as a bit of a buffer to hold us off. And, well, I mean, could he have given us more space? Could we have backed off? It's 50-50. Racing incident for sure. We get DRS now. Heading down the long straight. And there's Charles Leclerc on the same tire as us, who's trying to get in on the fight as well. We're going to dive around the outside of the Red Bull through the first chicane. This is a great fight. I mean, come on, compared to the last 2 races, this is where we want to be. Fighting with top cars, somehow holding them off, getting into the slipstream of Perez, through Curva Grande, into the second chicane. Leclerc is right behind us. We need to get this move done. We dive into the inside. Perez leaves us so much space, and we get the move done. No sausage curve, no understeer, no crash like in quali. This is what we want to see. Great stuff from us, and albeit this is where our race kind of ended. Because, I mean, there's no way we're going to catch up to Stroll in P3. But look at this fight. The fight continues through the field as Leclerc on medium tires is going to try and get across past Perez on hards. The Tifosi are going to love this. Ferrari, Red Bull going at it. Perez got to go clattered on the curb, but they're going side by side through Curva Grande. Leclerc should have gotten this move done a long time ago with the fresher top medium, with the better medium tires. Here we go into the first chicane, the second chicane now, and Perez on the outside. Outside becomes the inside, and he holds off Charles Leclerc. This is great, but on to lap 20 now, and the fight continues. Leclerc has DRS now, and he's definitely going to get this move done because he's so much closer than Perez. He closes off Perez into the first chicane, and there we go. Leclerc up into P5. So not only is Perez's undercut failed him, but those hard tires starting to fail him. But 2 laps later, the fight is on again after Perez got DRS, and he couldn't get the move done there. But he's a faster car. He undoubtedly, with the help of Slipstream, is going to catch up to that Ferrari. But that fight, although I would have expected that fight to hold him off, Leclerc, in its much faster car than our Toyota, is right up our backside. This is not going to be fun now, because with Perez, while he was definitely in a faster car than a Ferrari, his tire disadvantage was to our benefit. But now we're under pressure from Charles Leclerc. This is going to be but we get go purple in the first sector, so we can use our speed that we're somehow managing to pull off to hold off the Ferrari, who is all up our backside. We're deploying ERS on every DRS straight. As Leclerc tries to go on the outside, we squeeze him out. Leclerc trying to go on the inside into the Ascari chicane, but we managed to hold him off. Brilliant move. We get a little bit too greedy on the curb. Terrible run. And Leclerc, oh my god, look at Perez. He's waving. That is some supersonic speed from the Red Bull, charging down the straight. And he's going to see if he manages to fight Leclerc. This is going to help our effort to hold on to P4 and finish best of the rest of the entire field. But here we go, Leclerc in DRS range. We're deploying all the ERS that we can, heading into the first chicane, hitting our braking point perfectly. And Leclerc gets a little nose on the inside, but we squeeze him out. And that's a beautiful, beautiful defense on our part, managing to hold back the Scuderia. But the Ferrari, again, like the prancing horse it is charging down the inside. He's going to get the move done around us before the Ascari chicane with the help of DRS. We try to go make a move on the inside. Leclerc locks up. This is going to lose him some time. And Perez is all up our backside. Thankfully, no DRS down the back straight into the curve Alvaredo. But here we go. DRS down the main straight. Leclerc is left vulnerable. He's probably deployed a lot of battery to try to get past us. And it's an easy overtake for us. And here we go, back into P4. Oh, God. I don't know how I managed to say all that. That was a lot of action that just happened. This race has made up for the misery of the last two races, for sure. Go a little wide again onto the gravel, and that allows Leclerc to go up into the second Lesmos. There's 2 laps left in this Italian Grand Prix. We squeeze out Leclerc, and we managed to hold the position after going purple in the first sector again. But as we go on, look at this. Carlos Sainz getting in on the battle. Sergio Perez has managed to get by Leclerc. So that little move into the first Lesmos has compromised Leclerc's race. He's now been passed by the Red Bull, and now Sainz has passed him as well. So Leclerc, going from fighting for P4, he's down into P7. But now Perez is starting to pressure us. Now those hard tires are starting to gain a second leg of life. Here you go, tries to make a move on the inside into the Ascari chicane. Valtteri Bottas wins the Italian Grand Prix, closing the gap to his championship rival, Lewis Hamilton. But I think we're going to manage to hold off Sergio Perez in the last lap of the Italian Grand Prix, and we are. There we go, P4, get in there. That's 12 points to help our Constructors' Championship, pulling the gap to Alpine and closing our gap to AlphaTauri. But this has been an exceptional race. P4 in the 7th best car in the field. Get in there, son. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, another historic win under their belts. Well done to the team at Mercedes. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs. And that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
And here we are, Valtteri Bottas winning the Italian Grand Prix. And Daniel Ricciardo, I think Daniel Ricciardo's stolen the momentum from Lando Norris. Remember, Lando had an impressive run of podiums in the last few races. But Ricciardo, he's been on the podium in the last ever since the summer break, he's been on the podium in every race. So that's exceptional work from the Australian. And Lance Stroll gets his first podium as an Aston Martin driver, but his third place at Monza, especially after that chaotic Monza race in real life 2020 with Racing Point. But P4, that is an exceptional result. This wasn't like a crazy race, honestly. Sato, we're pulling the car into places where it shouldn't be, but Sato really disappointed, which kind of makes me believe that Sato probably wouldn't have done as well at Belgium if we hadn't screwed him up at the pit stops. But great drive from us. That was great. We pulled. Monza's a power circuit. There's no hiding if you have a terrible car, aka the Ferrari of 2020. But somehow we were able to hold off faster cars the entire race, and our efforts are well rewarded as we pulled a gap, a 13-point gap to Alpine, and we're within about 10-11 points from AlphaTauri. So P6 in the Constructors is very, very possible. And as a new team finishing P6 in your first season, not bad at all. Not bad at all. But thank you for joining me today. What an amazing race. Celebrate our great points haul by leaving a like in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, of course. And join me again as we head into the Russian Grand Prix, a track that don't have much success around, but I do go well around here. But thank you so much for joining me again. Remember, life's a marathon, not a sprint, and make sure you're always in a position to win. I'm the ISO Racer, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.